Amidst the rain-soaked misery of the Western Front, Lieutenant John Miller hunkered down in the muck, his uniform clinging to his body like a second skin. The never-ending rumble of artillery fire in the distance provided a relentless backdrop to the bleak, trench-lined landscape. All around him, the weary faces of his comrades spoke of the unyielding grind of war. His men had taken up their positions, each one an anonymous silhouette against the bleak grey of the trench. As the heavy clouds overhead cast a perpetual gloom, Miller peered through a foggy periscope, scanning the desolate expanse before them. They were on one side, the faceless enemy on the other, separated only by a muddy wasteland filled with barbed wire and death. Movement at 11 o'clock, sir, one of his soldiers murmured, his voice tinged with tension. Miller nodded, his eyes never leaving the distant figures that appeared like ghosts amidst the fog and rain. This was a game of shadows, where a careless twitch or an ill-timed move could bring swift and unrelenting death. Wait for my signal, Miller ordered, his fingers tightening around the cold metal of his binoculars. As the enemy soldiers drew closer, he watched, measuring their intent, searching for the slightest weakness. The soldiers, similarly bedraggled, reached a break in the barbed wire, and that's when Miller gave the order. A fusillade of gunfire erupted, punctuated by the staccato rhythm of machine guns. Mud erupted in geysers, and the cries of the wounded merged with the unending symphony of war. In the midst of the chaos, Miller remained focused, his senses sharp. He relayed orders to his men, ensuring they conserved ammunition and tended to the wounded. Survival was not just a matter of bravery. It was about strategy, resourcefulness, and sheer luck. The battle raged for hours. The rain seemed to weep for the fallen, and the constant roar of gunfire and artillery turned the trench into a deafening abyss. As dusk settled in, the enemy began to withdraw under the cover of darkness, their presence fading into the shadows. The trench fell silent once more, save for the anguished moans of the wounded. The men who had survived this day knew that the war was far from over, but they had held their ground for now. They had survived the unrelenting crucible of the front lines, where every decision was a matter of life or death. Tomorrow would bring new trials, but for tonight, they had earned a brief respite from the unending horror of trench warfare.